Number 1. This footage was recorded by Zombie Shay while exploring an abandoned military fortress, a location surrounded by ghost stories and rumors of paranormal activity. Accompanied by a friend, he ventures deep into the underground tunnels. The farther they descend, the more unsettling the atmosphere becomes, with strange noises echoing through the passageways. As they continue searching the area, a sudden metallic clang breaks the silence.
Куда назад, блядь, тупить, наверное. Терен, что ты смотришь? Еще мыши. Что это, блин? Херня. Блин, на самом деле, походу, нам надо отсюда топать. Кому-то. Очень смешно. Я чуть колодец не улетел. Спасибо, пап. Давай отсюда. Вот это, блин. Вот это, ребят.
Нас со всех сторон окружают?
Вырубай эту херню, это реально сыкотно.
The noise echoed through the tunnels as if something large and heavy had just been swung against the metal walls. Moments later, the investigation took an even stranger turn. While one of them was speaking to the camera, a human-shaped figure...
Друзья, мы уже много что посмотрели. Здесь просто нереальное количество летучих мышей, но вы и сами это видите.
Number 2. The next clip comes from the YouTuber Exploring the Unbeaten Path, who, together with a friend, discovered a hidden crypt somewhere in Italy. The site was believed to have remained untouched for centuries. To help protect the location, the creator chose not to reveal where it was filmed. Inside, they found human remains that had rested undisturbed for nearly 400 years. Knowing how fragile the site was, they moved carefully through the crypt, trying not to disturb anything. As they continued exploring, they came across numerous skeletons scattered throughout the underground chambers.
We found the entrance. Look at this.
Have to be as respectful as possible here. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm looking at a guy right here.
Sorry everybody. I think I need some time to get used to this.
Yeah. Pretty crazy, yeah?
Yeah, there was a movie.
Everywhere you look, there are skulls. Here too.
Mummification was a unique blend of fate.
The abandoned crypt was filled with human skulls, skeletal remains, and naturally mummified bodies. The discoveries reflected a historic Catholic tradition of preserving the dead, a practice that existed in parts of Italy for hundreds of years. Unlike many other burial sites that have been documented over time, this crypt had seemingly been left untouched and forgotten for centuries.
Among all the mummies in this forgotten crypt, the most remarkable is that of a young boy, incredibly well preserved despite the passage of time.
Although they were surrounded by dozens of mummified bodies, it was the smallest set of remains that shocked them the most, leaving both explorers completely speechless. Number 3. The next clip comes from biker YouTuber BakerX Derek. While riding home, he decided to make one unexpected stop, thinking it would be an interesting detour. What seemed like a harmless idea at the time would soon turn into a genuinely terrifying experience.
It'd probably be a really bad idea to do that. Oh, there's a driveway for it right here. Dude, you know there's probably homeless people up here. Oh my god, this is cool. Lupe, let me you. Who give a I do. I would.
Despite noticing disturbing signs and unsettling markings at the entrance, he chose to continue inside. The moment he stepped into the abandoned building, something immediately felt wrong. The atmosphere was tense and unsettling, but instead of turning back, he ignored the warning signs and continued exploring deeper into the property.
Dude, this is terrifying. Oh my god, look at the size of this bedroom. Is this a bedroom, dude? Dude, this is scary. I need to make sure no one's in here. Like in those bedrooms. Dude, this is how horror movies start. Oh my god, it's so dark in these rooms. Oh my god, the floor feels like it's gonna collapse. Dude, that dark room. I kept feeling something was gonna jump out at me. What's down here? Hello? Dude, I think I hear somebody. I think I hear something.
Even after hearing strange noises echoing through the building, he continued searching the abandoned property. It wasn't until an object was suddenly thrown in his direction that he finally realized the danger and sprinted out. However, the most unsettling discovery came later. While reviewing the footage, he noticed something far more disturbing hidden in the video, something he had completely missed during the exploration itself. There appears to be what looks like a face watching him from the darkness. Strangely, during the exploration itself, he never noticed anyone there. Only after reviewing the footage did the figure become visible. Whether it was actually a person or just a trick of the lighting remains unclear, but perhaps it's for the best that there was never a face-to-face encounter. Number 4. In the following footage, our YouTuber is exploring a series of eerie caves, squeezing through narrow openings in search of hidden passages. As he crawls deeper into the cave system, he suddenly begins hearing strange sounds coming from the direction of the entrance. At first, he assumes it's nothing, but the noises continue, leaving him wondering if someone or something has entered the caves behind him.
That is beautiful. Baked beans in a haunted cave. Oh my God. That was the sound. That is the sound. Did you hear that? Look at my arms. I got full goosebumps. It's the chains moving when I climb down the ladder. It's a big, heavy, thick chain. Wind can't move that.
When this footage was recorded, the weather was completely calm, with no wind at all. That makes the moving chain far more difficult to explain. If the wind wasn't responsible, it raises an unsettling possibility that someone, or perhaps something, was already down there with him in the darkness.
It is 100% now. I heard it before. I'm 100% certain it's the chain that I walked in, that you climbed down into this cave on. It's moving. Now, You can't move that chain with wind. It's way too heavy. There is no wind coming in here. There's no wind even fork. Holy. Oh my God. Look. You must have heard that just then. Look at my arms, dude. Oh, this is fucked. Okay. Well, I've got my backpack back on and I'm booting on out of here. I just heard a sound. It's not normal. It's definitely not a normal sound and I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably about 2 hours, 2.5 hours after I checked in with you guys, so it would be around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and that sound was not normal. I'm getting out of here.
After hearing the unsettling noises, he decided it was no longer worth continuing deeper into the cave and instead stayed near the entrance for the rest of the night. A few hours later, he began hearing sounds that resembled human voices. Despite searching the surrounding area, he couldn't find anyone who could have been making them. While dangerous wildlife was always a possibility, there was also the chance, however unlikely, that someone had been living inside the cave without his knowledge. Number 5. At first glance, the isolated farm didn't seem particularly unusual. The property contained several abandoned buildings, with signs that dogs had once lived there. Believing it would be a straightforward exploration, the YouTuber decided to investigate the location alone. His plan was simple: look through the farm, capture some footage, and leave. For a while, everything went exactly as expected. He wandered around the property, entered a few of the old buildings, and found nothing that suggested the place was anything more than an ordinary abandoned farm.
Вот здание. Здесь все заброшено, пиздец. Вот здесь дверь закрытая. Блядь, все разъебано. Вот, короче. Какая-то херня, блядь. Вот это здание, короче.
As he continued exploring the abandoned farm, he made his way into one of the buildings and began opening doors one by one. Up until that point, there had been no indication that anyone else was on the property, but everything changed when he looked into one of the rooms. Sitting silently in a chair was a man. Completely caught off guard, the explorer froze for a split second. He never had the chance to ask who the man was or why he was there. The instant they made eye contact, the man jumped to his feet and immediately began chasing him through the building.
Раньше где вот что было? Собаки. Блядь. Тут какой-то проход. Здесь что-то печка раньше была. Типа такого что-то. Блядь! Сука! Нахуй! Сука! Вон! Сука! Вон бежит! Сука!
The explorer sprinted out of the building and across the abandoned farm, but the man showed no signs of giving up. He continued chasing him through the property, forcing the YouTuber to focus only on escaping rather than finding out what the stranger wanted. In the middle of the terrifying pursuit, he noticed something even more alarming. According to the YouTuber, the man appeared to be holding a knife. From that moment on, his only goal was to get away as quickly as possible. As he ran in panic, he lost his footing and crashed to the ground.
Заныкался где-то. Сука. Я не знаю, где.
Выходи, а то убью.
Сука! 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 Вон он, блядь! Сука! Бля, он остановился, вон, сука, ебать, обоссался. И покажу на момент, он с ножом бегал, я просто заметила, что он с ножом был. Он мог просто, я себе нечаянно где-нибудь споткнулся, упал. Он мог просто меня убить. Это какой-то маньяк, мне кажется, был.
Who the man sitting in that chair actually was remains a mystery. Just as puzzling is why he suddenly got up and began chasing the explorer without saying a single word. To this day, no one knows what his intentions were, making the encounter all the more unsettling. Number 6. The following footage comes from a YouTuber who set out to spend the night alone in the wilderness. What started as a peaceful overnight camping trip soon turned into a terrifying experience, forcing him to abandon the area and escape to safety. His journey began near a reservoir, where he parked his van at a remote spot known by locals as the Witch's Den.
And there it is, the Witch's Den. You ready, mate? Yeah? You can hear the wind just whistling through those trees. I'm sure I just saw a light or maybe some eye shine. I hope there's no cows in there. There's always cows in there. Always bloody cows.
Once he and his dog headed into the darkness to explore the area and its local legends, the atmosphere quickly became uneasy. The forest was completely silent, yet he couldn't get rid of the feeling that someone was watching from somewhere beyond the trees. As they approached the edge of the woods, he suddenly caught what looked like a brief flash of light in the distance.
Look at it. Is that eye shine over there then? Or is my mind playing tricks on me again? Why not do it? Cracking and stuff. Look at this, look. That's just proper creepy, that, isn't it? Oh, I'm on edge now. Definitely on edge. Look at that. Creepsville, Tennessee. Fucking pigeon. Always pigeons and all, isn't there?
As he ventured farther into the forest, his sense of unease only grew stronger. The twisted trees cast strange shapes in the darkness, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something was nearby. Every step made him more anxious, as if he was being watched from somewhere just beyond the light. Then, without warning, he came across something that immediately stopped him in his tracks.
You see the 5-pointed star with bells on it hung up there. Don't think we can get in there, mate. I can't squeeze in there anyway. I'm too fat to get in there now. Getting creeped out.
Eventually, he reached the place locals refer to as the Witch's Dean. There, he found a small structure decorated with 5-pointed stars and hanging bells. As he searched the area, he noticed freshly cut pieces of wood, along with clear signs that a campfire had been lit not long before. The discovery immediately raised unsettling questions. Someone had been there recently, but who were they, and where had they gone?
Hearing stuff. Not just the wind noise, but don't know, it almost I need to get out of here before a branch falls on my head. Yeah, look, that's definitely fresh and all. Look at that. So who's been in here having campfires? Can't see any evidence of a campfire, so oh, my ankle. Yeah, that wind's really picking up. That wind's really picking up now. What is that noise? Can you hear it?
The sound was heavy, almost like the movement of a large dog. He immediately switched off his flashlight and stared into the darkness, but at first, he couldn't see anything. Even so, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was nearby. Then, a moment later, he became convinced he had spotted a pair of glowing eyes watching him from behind a nearby stone wall.
It looked pretty big as well. Hold on. Where's my other torch? Alright, so it might have been whatever it was peeking round the side of that wall. It's like a T-junction there with this wall, and there's a gap between this long one here and then the one that goes along there. Well, I ain't got any tools with me. I'm sure I've just heard someone sneeze.
A sudden wave of panic hit him as he realized how exposed he really was. Alone in the darkness, with no idea what was out there, he knew staying any longer wasn't worth the risk. Without hesitation, he turned around, called his dog, and the two quickly made their way out of the woods as fast as they could.
Oh, and we're back. Well, that were a bit of an escapade, wasn't it, mate? And I'm creeping round the bed. Creeping. What the that? I've got a light here. Someone just hit my window. It sounded like the window anyway. Ah, what's that? There's an half-chewed acorn there. Wonder if a bird's just dropped it or something. Conveniently on my van. Right, I can't get any signal down here, but I must have got signal as I was walking round up there. Right, I'm gonna have to go and find some signal somewhere and go sort this out.
Although Gaz and Fendi remained physically unharmed, the experience left a chilling mark.
Number 7. What began as a spontaneous trip to a remote property along the Allegheny River soon turned into an experience this YouTuber would never forget. In early November, he traveled to the secluded land, a place he had dreamed of owning for nearly 15 years. With a decision deadline fast approaching, he chose to spend the night there, hoping to find out whether the property truly felt like home.
It's the first few days of November. It's like 42 degrees and sprinkling on and off today. We're here on the banks of the Allegheny River, and I have to decide if I want to buy this property or not. They have accepted my offer. Well, not formally, but they said they would accept it if I want to move forward. So don't tell them, but I'm gonna camp here tonight and see if this feels like home. So we're gonna camp here tonight, and I'm gonna decide if this is gonna be the land that I've been looking to purchase along the Allegheny River for the last 15 years. That's been my dream, and we're gonna see if I want to make that dream a reality now or wait for something better.
As he set up camp, he shared his first impressions of the property with the camera. Although the scenery was undeniably beautiful, he couldn't ignore the feeling that the usable land was far more limited than he had expected. More importantly, there was something about the place that left him uneasy, a feeling he couldn't explain but couldn't seem to shake either.
These are from Aldi, cream cheese jalapeno poppers. I absolutely love these.
Seem to shake
I will eat
either.
the whole box, and tonight I'm gonna eat the whole box. So, well, it was impromptu and unexpected, but I will never complain about eating another delicious meal on the shores of the Allegheny River, and I'm privileged to do so tonight, even if I'm pretty convinced that I am not going to buy this land. I'm picky, and I haven't found anything that is hitting home.
After cooking dinner and watching the sun disappear behind the river, he climbed into his truck for the night. His plan was simple: relax, watch a movie, and enjoy the peaceful surroundings. But as time passed, the quiet forest began to feel very different. The calm atmosphere slowly gave way to an unsettling sense that something wasn't right.
There's a really up noise
sense that something wasn't right.
Right now. It sounds like a woman screaming. I was sitting in my front seat with the heated seat on, warming up. It's been dark for a long time now, and it Sounds like a woman screaming. Listen, I don't know what the hell that was, but that has me absolutely
As
terrified.
he sat inside his truck, a horrifying scream suddenly echoed through the woods.
Absolutely
It
terrified.
sounded
I'm not lying.
uncannily like a woman crying out in agony. Instantly, a surge of fear rushed over him. Convinced that something was terribly wrong, he grabbed his camera and decided there was only one thing left to do: leave the property before whatever had made the sound came any closer.
I'm getting out of here.
Whatever had made the sound came any closer.
I don't like that feeling at all, so we're gonna go. We're just getting out of here. Feel very unsafe right now. Very, very unsafe. And I can't just peel out of here. I gotta come down this half mountain road. So if I need to get out of here in a pinch, I can't. And I had to switch back to get in here. I'm head in, so I literally can't get out if I need to. I can't see anything. I don't even want to have my window open in case of any Gibraltars out there. Let's get me the out of here. And we're gonna, I don't know what the nope, not doing it, not doing it. That was a lady screaming. My doors are locked. I'm 100% sure of that. I don't even want to open my doors though. Somebody was walking down here and it sounded like the woman screaming. Somebody was walking just beyond it.
His instincts told him that something was seriously wrong. Convinced he had just heard a woman desperately calling for help, he drove a short distance away from the property before pulling over. Still shaken by what had happened, he decided the safest course of action was to contact the police and report what he had heard.
I'm out in.
Contact the police and report what he had heard.
There's a property for sale. I'm truck camping up there because I'm supposed to let them know tomorrow if I want to buy it. And I all of a sudden heard this blood scream like 50 times.
Soon after,
a short time later, 2 state police officers arrived and immediately treated the situation as a serious emergency. After hearing his account, they escorted him back down the dark road toward the property, determined to investigate what had caused the terrifying screams.
Leave my truck on, actually. This is
what had caused the terrifying screams.
I'm just gonna stay here with my light. Ready to go. They're checking out this cabin and it's making me extremely nervous.
The officers immediately approached a nearby cabin with their weapons drawn, while Sam remained inside his truck, watching the investigation unfold. Still shaken by everything that had happened, he waited until the officers returned. They eventually told him there was another house deeper in the forest and that he was free to leave the area.
You want me to wait or what should I do?
And that he was free to leave the area.
Okay, well be safe, and I wouldn't feel right if I didn't call, so whether it's nothing or something, be safe, and I just, thanks brother, have a good night, be safe. I literally have no words for everything that went down this evening. I'm about halfway home. I just stopped to get gas and kind of decompress for a few minutes. My nerves are absolutely shot. I can't really add anything more to the video than what you saw and everything I described. Those police officers did seem very on guard and suspicious, not only of me, but of the situation over there. And after talking with Jessica, I just was not in the right frame of mind to understand why I felt that way.
Number 8. Our next footage comes from the YouTube channel Uncharted Travels. comes from the YouTube channel Uncharted Travels.
So I'm killing my flashlight for a little bit. This probably would have been worth like 8. Time to head back the way we came. I swear to God, I just heard someone. Oh my God. Oh shit. Actually, I just went out. Oh, come on. Please, come on.
Exploring an abandoned building is already a chilling experience, but spending the entire night alone inside one takes it to a completely different level. In this video, we follow him deep into the heart of a decaying institution, where every sound and every shadow makes the night even more unsettling. This YouTuber documents the haunting decay of abandoned buildings that have been left untouched for years, sometimes even decades. But during this overnight exploration, he would soon realize the building wasn't as abandoned as it seemed. Before long, it became clear that someone else was inside with him. Someone else was inside with him.
Gate, and it's about 3:30 right now, and I have a 20-minute hike to the actual location. The sun sets here around 5:30, 6 o'clock, so that means I have about 2 or so hours to get as much footage as I can in the daylight and navigate the place. Last night, it got around to about -20 here. Tonight it's expected to be about the same. So, as you can guess, it's going to be a rough one. The theme of episode 1 was to survive the wildlife and coyotes. The theme of episode 2 is going to be, again, to survive, but this time the cold. So we're going to try and take the brunt of this Canadian winter and last with the supplies I've brought.
As he approached the main entrance, he immediately noticed something unsettling. The roads inside the abandoned complex had been freshly plowed, a clear indication that someone was still maintaining the property. Realizing he could no longer assume the place was deserted, he knew he would have to move carefully and avoid being seen. After squeezing through a small window, he finally made it inside. Standing in the darkness, he quickly realized just how enormous the abandoned asylum really was. The abandoned asylum really was.
Constructed in 1896, this sanitarium housed over 400 live-in residents in its prime. The area was chosen for its remote location, where patients could take in plenty of fresh air and sunlight, 2 things which were believed to be vital for tuberculosis patients at this time.
This looks like the front lobby. It looks like everything's covered in at least a solid like 3 to 4 inches of ice. So I hope it's stable enough for me to walk on.
With temperatures in the area being consistently below freezing, any mold spores caused by seasonal flooding should be dormant and of little danger to me. That being said, there were still several other hazardous substances in this building that I needed to avoid directly inhaling. I began to understand just how alone I was.
I swear I just heard something tapping on one of the windows. That was a little bit creepy. Heard some tapping on one of the windows outside, so I'm hoping it's not maintenance people. So I'm killing my flashlight for a little bit, and I'm just gonna have a look outside. It sounded like it was coming from this direction, but like at the base of the building. I doubt they'd come in here, but just trying to be safe. Oh. That's weird.
Then, a strange tapping sound echoed from somewhere outside, almost as if someone was knocking on a nearby window. He froze instantly, switched off his flashlight, and listened in complete silence. But he couldn't see anyone. At first, he tried to convince himself it was just an animal. Yet, the tapping sounded far too deliberate to ignore. Even with his nerves beginning to take over, he pressed on. With darkness quickly closing in, he knew he was running out of time to find a place to spend the night. After searching the massive building for some time, he eventually found a small room that offered enough shelter to settle in. Now,
with the tradition of the Alone series, I do want to show you guys a part of this insane asylum that I haven't shown you yet during the day, and that's because it's a little bit tricky to find, and that is the cafeteria. So our objective right now is, I'm going to, keeping up with the tradition, venture out into the depths of this location at night while it is pretty dark, and unfortunately my flashlight is on its last legs. But I will have to go into the basement.
Armed with nothing more than a fading flashlight, he descended into the asylum's pitch-black basement in search of its long-forgotten cafeteria. To reach it, he had to navigate a maze of flooded underground tunnels. Every step through the freezing water made the journey even more unnerving, while the weak beam from his flashlight barely illuminated the icy corridors ahead. Then, without warning, he stopped. A mysterious sound echoed through the darkness somewhere in front of him. Time
to head back the way we came. Hello? I swear to God, I just heard someone. I swear I just heard someone over here. Or something, maybe an animal, I don't know. I guess it was nothing.
It sounded almost like a human voice. He called out into the darkness, hoping for a response, but the only thing that answered him was complete silence. Then, just as panic began to set in, his flashlight finally died, leaving him in total darkness. With no other option, he relied on the light from his head-mounted camera as he hurried back through the flooded tunnels. Somehow, he managed to reach his shelter and make it through the brutally cold night. But the identity of whatever he heard in the basement remains a mystery. Trapped alone inside a frozen, abandoned asylum, a single wrong encounter could easily have been his last. Number 9. The next footage comes from YouTuber Ray Gloom's real-life encounters, who had set up a night vision camera deep in the forest to capture wildlife activity. The location seemed ideal, remote, peaceful, and surrounded by fresh animal tracks. After placing the camera, he began the hike back, passing only a single person along the way. For a brief moment, he wondered whether someone might interfere with his equipment, but he quickly dismissed the thought. When he returned the following morning, everything appeared exactly as he had left it.
Reviewing the footage, things started off normal, just typical animal activity through the night. But then one clip stood out, and it was chilling.
Then, at around 4 o'clock in the morning, the camera captured something deeply unsettling. A shirtless man slowly crawled across the forest floor carrying a large axe. He had no flashlight, made no visible attempt to make noise, and silently disappeared through the darkness like something straight out of a horror film. Fortunately, the YouTuber wasn't there when it happened, but the footage leaves one disturbing question unanswered. What was this man doing alone in the middle of the forest at 4 in the morning, armed with nothing but an axe? Number 10. The next footage comes from YouTuber Jasko, who, together with a friend, explored a remote forest infamous for a series of murders in which women were targeted. The area has long been surrounded by disturbing stories, and even in recent years, shocking discoveries have kept its terrifying reputation alive. In 2019, a body was reportedly found in a nearby lake, adding a chilling real-life chapter to the forest's dark history. Despite knowing all of this, the two friends decided to spend the night there. Armed with a spear, a spirit box, and more than a little fear, they hoped to uncover what really lurked in the woods. As darkness settled in, they gathered around their campfire, telling ghost stories while the forest around them grew eerily quiet. But before long, the night's atmosphere turned into something far more unsettling. Deep in the woods, they came across an abandoned mine shaft. As they looked inside, both of them froze. Lying at the bottom was something with an unmistakably human shape, partially covered, with only a pair of shoes sticking out. From where they stood, it looked horrifyingly like they had just discovered a body.
Bro, what the f was that? What was that? This. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go.
The two bolt back to their campsite, panicked and unsure of what just happened.
For good measure. We're literally sleeping right next to the foundation that probably has hundreds of years of history. Bro, what is that? Bro, it sounds like a You heard that's exactly 100%. No, almost like a moan. Whatever when you're talking about the history of the foundation. I'm gonna stay up for a bit, so I think. Should we look out and just double check? Like, I don't.
Flashlight is right here somewhere.
Going?
Yeah.
As the two friends settled in for the night, the forest seemed to come alive around them. Before long, strange noises began echoing through the trees. Twigs snapped in the distance, faint screams drifted through the darkness, and what sounded like distant voices were carried on the wind. With every passing minute, the feeling that they weren't alone became harder to ignore.
Chris, what the f was that? That was a scream. That was coyotes in that direction. That was a scream. He's talking right now. Hello?
Guys, I truly think that there's someone outside of our tent right now. We hear footsteps approaching the tent. What do we do?
I don't fucking know. I wish it would be safer in here, but also it's a fucking tent. Where's the machete? Wanna take my camera?
I'm just gonna work outside. Oh shit.
Anything?
No, truck's fine.
When they cautiously peeked outside the tent, there was no one there. The forest was completely silent, but just as they began to relax, something suddenly brushed against the outside of the tent, bringing both of them to an immediate stop.
Yo, Chris. Alright, I'm gonna whisper right now because Chris is like knocked out. It genuinely sounded like a voice outside the tent. But I hear the wind picking up, so maybe it's just something traveling in the wind. That was a branch break. That was a branch break. It's been quiet for like 20 minutes. And all of a sudden, you know what?
It wasn't a loud impact, more like a gentle nudge, as if someone or something had lightly bumped into the tent.
Hello?
It's in the truck.
Is that your truck, bro?
Where's my keys?
Or before that, someone like, it sounded like someone punched the tent.
Wait, what? Someone punched
Something like shuffled away. I woke up with something like, it's like sounded like something punched like the side of the tent or something. You know, like, almost like, I don't know, just like touched it. It was like that, like, that kind of noise.
I don't even remember going to bed. My fucking mic fell off.
Number 11. The next footage, captured by a doorbell camera, is both terrifying and potentially dangerous. In 2021, a homeowner received a notification that someone had rung the doorbell. When she opened the camera feed, she saw an unfamiliar man standing just outside her front door. Neither she nor the other girls inside the house recognized him, so they decided it was safest not to answer and simply ignored the knocking.
Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? What? Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? Are you absolutely certain?
Home alone and increasingly concerned, she immediately called her husband to explain what was happening and asked him to contact the police. While officers were on their way, her husband used the doorbell's two-way speaker to confront the stranger from a distance and find out why he was standing outside their home.
Who are you? What? Yeah? Are you sure? Who are you? Hey, I just had a couple questions. I just wanted to ask you about baby tool. Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm going to take her in. You have her open the door? You're rape and kill the girl that's on the other side of the store when she lets me in. I want to rape her and kill her because I have a knife, a gun. And I just, I'm going to knock on her door again.
After delivering a chilling threat in a cold, emotionless voice, the man simply turned around and walked away. There was no panic, no sign that he had been frightened off by the doorbell speaker. He left as calmly as he had arrived, making the encounter even more disturbing. The woman inside the house was left terrified, but her biggest fear was that the stranger hadn't given up. He had simply moved on to another home to target someone else. Wanting to warn others in the neighborhood, she shared the doorbell footage on Facebook. The video quickly spread, and thanks to the public's help, the man was eventually identified and arrested. Number 12. The next doorbell camera footage is a chilling reminder of why you should never hide a spare key under your doormat. Shared by a Reddit user, the video captures a genuinely unsettling encounter that shows just how quickly a simple security mistake can become a serious danger. Number 13. This footage was uploaded by YouTuber 5050 Fishing, a creator best known for fishing videos and laid-back outdoor adventures. But this time, he decided to step far outside his comfort zone. Instead of another relaxing day on the water, he set out on an overnight camping trip deep in the wilderness. What started as a simple adventure would soon turn into something completely unexpected. In 2023, he and a friend drove to a remote campsite, unaware of what the night had in store for them.
You consider it pops open like an ice shanty. Set it on the ground. Or it's just like a dang shanty. And you just pop this, pop that. No, that's it.
The tent is up, bro.
Holy crap.
That's nice.
Bro, that's pretty fire. It's supposed to be 7x7. Don't really look like it. Boy, that's kind of slick. Look at that thing, man. It literally took 5 seconds. Yeah, that tent's kind of fire, though. I mean, it literally took, what takes the longest is doing the dang rain fly stuff. And they really don't take long.
The evening couldn't have started much better. They spent hours fishing, relaxing, and enjoying the quiet surroundings. As night slowly settled over the campsite, everything still felt calm and peaceful. But in places as isolated as this, appearances can be deceiving. Before long, that sense of comfort would disappear, and the night would take a far more unsettling turn.
Got my mattress pad, got the sleeping bag. This little tent's all right. This ain't bad at all. Not like crazy roomy, but it's pretty good. Could fit 2 people in here. Heard something like a weird. I just woke up. I heard something like a weird noise. What the hell is it? There's something out there. Yeah, that sounds like a bear, like for real. Oh shit. I think it stopped, man. It like pushed my whole tent in right here. I'm about to go look. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I thought I heard it kind of run away. What the fuck? I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna sleep now.
Sometime in the middle of the night, a sudden noise jolted him awake. There was no confusion about what he was hearing. It sounded like a bear. Frozen inside the tent, he listened as the animal slowly circled their campsite. The only thing separating them was a thin layer of tent fabric. Every step seemed to come closer until, without warning, the sound suddenly changed.
Alright guys, well, got no idea where that thing went. I just started a big ass fire. Make sure he don't come back, hopefully. No idea. I think the tent's alright. I haven't seen anything on the tent. Man, I might sleep in the freaking... What was that? I just heard something. I might sleep in the damn truck tonight. Literally might be sleeping in the truck. I don't have any food out or nothing.
Number 14. CJ Faison is a YouTuber and explorer known for visiting the kinds of places most people would never dare enter, from abandoned towns and haunted locations to forgotten buildings with dark histories. But in 2024, he decided to leave urban exploration behind and try something completely different. Instead of searching abandoned places, he headed into the wilderness for a solo camping trip with no friends and no backup. His destination was the vast pine barrens of New Jersey, a dense forest surrounded by decades of local legends, where many believe something far more unsettling still lurks among the trees.
I just pulled up. That's weird. Sounds very hollow. I feel very nervous because this, like, completely solo. You're in the middle of the woods. I'm gonna get my stuff. I'm gonna go on a little bike ride here, and we're gonna go explore around together.
When he comes back from a short bike ride, something is different.
Those two logs are knocked over. The two logs are actually knocked over. I know for a fact that one was standing up, and I know that I'm 99%
CJ
sure
tried to
that one was
come
standing
up
up
with
too.
a logical explanation. Earlier, two large logs had been standing upright, but now both of them were lying on the ground. There was no strong wind, no animals nearby, and nothing that could explain how they had fallen. Unable to make sense of it, he looked back toward his van, left the camera recording, and stood quietly, listening. Moments later, another noise broke the silence, and this time, it was coming from someone just outside. Then, a faint red light appeared at the edge of the campsite. It blinked briefly from within the bushes before suddenly disappearing. Curious and increasingly uneasy, CJ carefully approached the spot to investigate. Hidden in the brush, he discovered a flashlight. It wasn't his, and even stranger, the power switch was in the off position.
What is that?
Try to zoom in on my camera. Come the fuck, come on. That's somebody's flashlight. Hello? I don't even know. It was a ding or something. Somebody's out here. Obviously. A damn flashlight doesn't fall clean out of the sky.
Somehow, it had switched itself on. Startled, CJ immediately turned and sprinted back toward his van, but before he could reach it, something else took over. A new sound echoed through the darkness, making it painfully clear that whatever had been out there hadn't left.
Whoa! No. Mother I'll beat you with this flashlight if I find you. All right, come the who's out here? Who's out here? I'm 9,000% sure that light was not on. 9,000%.
Then, another light source suddenly switched on by itself. Fighting to stay calm, CJ watched as the shadows around him seemed to shift and move in the darkness. One by one, his cameras began to fail. Batteries that had been charged only hours earlier drained without explanation, while overheating warnings appeared on multiple devices. Then, without any warning, a deafening bang exploded from somewhere deep in the forest.
No way. Hello? Listen, dude. Listen. If you're
the sound
just come out and say it.
To stop him in his tracks. He called out into the darkness, hoping for some kind of response, but nothing answered him, only complete silence. After waiting a few moments, he cautiously made his way toward the nearby restroom building to see where the noise had come from.
I'm 9,000% sure that boom or bang came from that right there. 100% came from that right there.
Deciding he had pushed his luck far enough, CJ made his way back to the safety of his van. Whatever was happening outside was no longer worth investigating. From that moment on, he had no intention of stepping back into the darkness.
No one tried to break in the van that I know of, at least. I think when I fell asleep, I was just like, ow. I enjoy the van camping thing. I felt way safer than when I'm like camping in a tent, that's for sure.
His bike was still exactly where he had left it, and the van hadn't been touched. On the surface, everything looked completely normal, but something still felt deeply wrong. The Pine Barrens had fallen silent once again, yet it wasn't the kind of silence that brought comfort. It was the kind that made you feel watched. Whatever had been moving through those woods that night never revealed itself, and perhaps that was the most unsettling part of all. Number 15. Our next video comes from the well-known exploration channel Urbex Hill. This time, the team set out to investigate an abandoned school. What makes this footage so unsettling is that the most disturbing detail wasn't noticed while they were filming. It only became visible after they reviewed the recording. From the very beginning, the atmosphere feels tense, with the sound of distant gunshots echoing through the night, making it clear that they weren't completely alone. Chris stepped carefully into the abandoned
Chris
building,
steps
immediately
inside the building
noticing the
carefully,
rusted staircases,
immediately pointing
unstable
out the
floors,
rusted
and broken light
staircases,
fixtures hanging from the
weak
ceiling.
floors,
Every step
and
had to be
broken
taken
light
with caution,
fixtures
knowing
hanging
that
from
one
the
wrong move
ceiling.
could end the
Every
exploration
step
in an
has to be
instant.
taken
But as he ventured
slowly,
farther
because
inside,
the structure
the
looks
risks
ready to
became
give
even
way at
greater,
any
and it
moment.
was clear that the
And as he
building
moves
itself
deeper
wasn't
into
the
the
only
building,
danger waiting
the
for
danger
him.
becomes even more obvious.
These stairs look crazy. How does that even happen? You gotta like stay on the edge of the stairs to make it up. You're not gonna make it up that way.
Chris stepped carefully into the abandoned building, immediately noticing the rusted staircases, unstable floors, and broken light fixtures hanging from the ceiling. Every step had to be taken with caution, knowing that one wrong move could end the exploration in an instant. But as he ventured farther inside, the risks became even greater, and it was clear that the building itself wasn't the only danger waiting for him.
They're all rusted out. That's crazy. How did that happen? I don't know, guys. The auditorium. Behind you. Look at the floor. What is it? I know this camera better pick that up. That's weird. It's a weird noise echoing.
At first, it was impossible to tell where the noises were coming from, and that uncertainty only made the situation more unnerving. Every unexplained sound echoed through the building, keeping him constantly on edge. As he pushed farther inside, the atmosphere became even stranger, and the feeling that something wasn't right only continued to grow.
Yeah, somebody might be here, dude. That's a lot of noise. What the fuck? It almost sounds like it sounded like talking. I don't know. Listen to that. What the hell? There's a lot of noise in this school. What the fuck? I bet barely people explore this place. This place is crazy. What? Bro, the light just cut out. Are you serious?
this light. Let me get the hell out of this school.
After finishing the exploration, Chris reviewed the footage captured by his different cameras. That's when he noticed something he had completely missed while filming. Strange shadows and vague figures appeared only from certain angles. Some seemed to move just beyond the edge of the frame, disappearing the moment the camera shifted. It could have been nothing more than unusual lighting or the mind trying to make sense of random shapes. But watching the footage back made the abandoned school feel even more unsettling than it had during the exploration itself.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God, bro. This crazy school looks crazy. This crazy school looks crazy.
Number 16. The next clip features a completely unexpected encounter. It comes from YouTuber Ivanchik, whose channel primarily focuses on exploring abandoned buildings. In a video uploaded in 2019, he entered what appeared to be a long-forgotten property. At first glance, the building looked as though it had been abandoned for years. The walls were crumbling, debris covered the floors, and every room showed clear signs of decay, giving the impression that nobody had set foot inside for a very long time.
У Иванчика обнова, он купил шок. Теперь будем бомжей пугать шокером. Так, что здесь?
It quickly became clear that the building hadn't been completely forgotten. There were unmistakable signs that people had been there recently, even if nobody officially lived there anymore. The moment he stepped inside, the atmosphere changed. What had first seemed like an empty, abandoned structure suddenly felt occupied, as if someone else might still be hiding somewhere inside.
Особо ничего интересного, походу. Треугольники. По углам. Ботинок. Это типа кладовка, наверное, была. Да, это кладовка, там полочки. Так, здесь уже темно. Бляха-муха. Толчки. Дверь палкой забита. Там выход на улицу.
Most of the rooms were empty, with nothing left behind except scattered debris and graffiti covering the walls. After searching the lower level, he decided to head upstairs to see what the second floor had to offer. But just moments after making his way up, something happened that he couldn't explain.
Ну я слышу, выходите. Нифига, полный пол. Так что, выходим, нет? Блин. Туда не пройти, ребят, потому что здесь завал. Там, короче... Мася, стой там. Вот здесь, короче, кто-то есть, походу. Или нет? Это кладовка. Значит, там. Здравствуйте. Да подождите, мы с хорошими целями. Я хочу вам сказать кое-что. Все, уберите. Все нормально. У меня шоки. Короче, чего вы так пугаете, бля? Я обоссался. Здесь кучу наложил. Трещу. А вы что, здесь живете? Я, короче, блогер. Мне надо походить, поснимать заброшку. Одобряете?
Одобряю.
Все хорошо. Вы здесь один?
Ты никуда слышишь?
Не-не-не. Я слышу то, что там кто-то есть, думаю, кажется...
Мы тоже думаем, кто-то ходит.
А там что, кто-то есть?
Ну, там девушка, да, и...
For a few tense moments, neither of them expected to find someone else inside the building. The silence suddenly felt much heavier as they stood facing each other, wanting to avoid making the situation worse. The explorer calmly explained that he was filming a video and documenting abandoned places for his YouTube channel. After a brief conversation, the tension gradually faded. The man didn't appear to be hostile, and the encounter ended peacefully despite the uneasy first impression.
Кстати, узнал, вот чтобы туда пройти, тебе лучше вон первый подъезд. Вот, ты так не обойдешь, тебе придется обернуть, ну, выйти через тот ход.
Ага.
Вот, и обернуть, как бы, и он там пройдет. И поснимать.
Хорошо.
Все. Ну, давай, удачи тебе.
Все, спасибо.
На пятерке, как говорится, учись.
Спасибо.
Я просто знаю, тут ходит наркоман, как бы, вот такое.
Понял.
Вот. Ну, видел он окно вышибно?
Вижу.
Вот, как бы они... Ну, давай, удачи тебе.
Все, спасибо.
Number 17. This footage comes from Exploring with Angelo, who, along with two friends, set out to investigate an abandoned asylum with a reputation for being haunted. Long before they arrived, the location had already become the center of countless disturbing stories. Its dark history and eerie reputation had made it one of the area's most feared abandoned buildings, leaving the group unsure of what they might find once they stepped inside.
Yeah, I think everything's, yeah, definitely this way. Yeah, I thought I lost you guys for a second.
The exploration began quietly as the group made their way through the asylum's long hallways and abandoned rooms. Even though nothing unusual had happened yet, the atmosphere already felt tense. Every dark corridor and empty doorway seemed to add to the growing sense of unease. But the farther they ventured into the building, the more unsettling the experience became.
What the hell? Something just like smashed. What the hell? What that? Hello? It's like a person lying there or something. Can you tell me your name? Maybe how long you were here? Is this a dead end? Looks like it. It says exit. So, might have to turn around.
Who's talking?
Oh, I'm talking. Can you hear me?
The unsettling noises grow louder and more frequent, making it hard to ignore. Despite the eerie atmosphere, the group decides to push on, determined to continue their mission. As they continue, the banging sounds seem to get closer, almost as if someone or something is trailing them.
Heard something from over here.
What'd you hear?
Like a loud, like a banging sound?
Okay, I think I can hear it. Hang on. What the f was that? What if it's not even a person? Oh crap. Okay.
After a while, the tension becomes unbearable. The relentless noises and the oppressive feeling of being watched make it impossible to continue. The team decides to call off the exploration, convinced that they're not alone in the building.